This is influenza type A. She has a few siblings named type B, type C, and type D, but we don't stan, so we won't talk about them. We'll start with the specifics of type A. Who is she? Welcome to the part of the program we like to call narrator epically pronounces a bunch of really long words and probably butchers more than half of them. The taxonomy of influenza type A is as follows. Realm, Riboviria. Kingdom, Orthornaviri. Phylum, Nagarna viricoda. Class, Insloviricides. Order, Articuloviralis. Family, Orthomyxoviridae. Genus, Alpha influenza virus. And species, Influenza A. Now for a fun fact. Types A, B, and C influenza comprise their very own family, Orthomyxoviridae. It's like their very own exclusive viral club. For the purpose of this video, the most important part of this list is species, Influenza A. This is what distinguishes type A from the other types of influenza. Type A viruses are the only known types of influenza that can cause flu pandemics, so she goes big or goes home. Type A is also divided into subtypes, like the A, H1N1, and A, H3N2 strains. The subtypes are determined by surface proteins called hemagglutinin and neuraminidase, which impact virus infectivity, transmissibility, pathogenicity, host specificity, and major antigenicity. Now, as we all know, the same influenza type A doesn't come around every year. She's the type who likes to improve herself through personal growth exercises. But instead of what we might consider yoga or journaling, she's performing antigenic drift and antigenic shift. Little changes that can let her sneak into a movie theater or your previously immunized stomach are caused by antigenic drift. So she's still the same little lady, but with some improvements. Almost like a new makeup look or a new hair color. However, if type A, for example, shared a cell with a different type A strain and had a quick chat, altering our type A's surface proteins forever, this would be antigenic shift. In this case, she didn't just change her outfit, she completely changed her outlook on life. This means she's a new strain, ready to take on the world. Antigenic drift and shift can lead to a potential 198 subtype combinations of type A influenza, but only 131 have actually been discovered in nature. Sometimes, if type A changes too much, antigenic shift as opposed to antigenic drift, we can't effectively create a vaccine or treat it, and thus she can cause a widespread pandemic and hurt lots of people. So, when type A isn't a deadly pathogen, who is she? Type A is the most common cause of seasonal flu, which can range from a mild fever or cough to checking into the hospital and never leaving. The latter doesn't happen often, but if you are pregnant, old, super young, or already have other body problems and you catch a bit of type A, your days are numbered. Type A tends to attack the respiratory system, causing trouble for your throat, nose, and lungs. However, if you're perfectly healthy, type A will just give you some trouble for a week, give or take. For kids, you'll be curled up on the bathroom floor for about 2 days and aching for maybe 3. Younger people tend to see more vomiting and diarrhea as their flu symptoms, but they share similar symptoms to adults too, like fever, cough, muscle, headache, etc., the ones you would typically associate with the common cold. Now, everyone's immune systems respond differently to type A, so it should be noted that these symptoms can be seen across the board. Now, is there a way to stop type A from wreaking havoc through our immune systems? The answer is sometimes. There are plenty of treatments for flu, like vaccines and medication. So let's talk about flu vaccines. There are 3 major types: the quadrivalent inactivated, the recombinant, and the live attenuated vaccines. Quadrivalent inactivated vaccines are pretty neat. Candidate vaccine viruses, or CVVs, are grown in eggs and shot into your arm with a needle. Recombinant vaccines are synthetically created with no virus or crusty eggs required. These vaccines use a gene with genetic instructions to create hemagglutinin combined with baculovirus, which infects invertebrates. This is injected into a host cell line and then into a needle, which injects into your arm. Lastly, live attenuated vaccines use weakened candidate vaccine viruses and administer them via nasal spray. This vaccine is a great choice for those of us with a fear of needles, or maybe little kids, but they do, however, have a tendency to be less effective some years, so check the facts before choosing a vaccine. It's also important to note that, like most vaccines, it is not 100% effective in preventing you from getting the flu due to the nature of viral changes. But if you do end up with the flu after getting your shot, it should be a more mild version. Now, though flu vaccines are a fantastic preventative measure for type A influenza, like we said, sometimes she can slip through the cracks of your immune system and get you sick. If this happens, the best things to do is to rest and drink tons of fluid. There are also medications that can be prescribed for flu, like oseltamivir, which is also known as Tamiflu, and zanamivir, or Relenza, and these both can help alleviate symptoms. We hope you had a fun time meeting type A influenza. She kind of sucks sometimes, and if she makes you sick, enjoy being literally phased out of this universe for about a week. Stay hydrated, get your flu shot, and we'll catch you next time, assuming you don't catch type A influenza first.